Okay, so buckle up because this royal family drama is getting seriously intense. We're talking about a full-blown power struggle, and it all centers around Prince William's upcoming coronation. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Wrong. This is more like a soap opera and princess, and is apparently the one stirring the pot. The big news is that Anne, who's always been seen as the rock of the monarchy, has basically blocked Queen Camilla from being involved in the early planning stages of William's coronation. No, right? Shall? You'd think Camilla, as the queen consort, will be front and center, but nope. Apparently, and doesn't think she deserves to be. Now, this isn't some subtle shade. We're talking about Camilla's name being completely absent from key meetings, briefings, and strategy sessions, like erased. And she didn't even find out through official channels. Apparently, some of her staff noticed she wasn't included on a memo that should have automatically landed on her desk. Talk about a slap in the face. Sources inside Clarence's house, which is Camilla and Charles's residence, say she was completely blindsided and felt totally betrayed. And honestly, who wouldn't imagine thinking you've finally been accepted into the inner circle only to find out you're still on the outside looking in? Of course, Camilla being Camilla, she didn't make a peep publicly, but behind the scenes, the message was crystal clear. She's not considered essential to the future of the monarchy. Ouch. So, why wouldn't do something like this? Well, there are a couple of theories floating around. Some insiders say she's just fiercely loyal to William and wants to protect him from any internal conflict or long-standing tensions. Others believe it's a much deeper power play about legacy, influence, and who really gets to call the shots when it comes to shaping the monarchy's future. Whatever the reason, it's definitely shaken things up inside the palace. Word is that the atmosphere has completely changed, and Camilla has basically been told that her role is no longer welcome, and that's a pretty big deal. Now, let's talk about the Anne and Camilla dynamic, because it's always been a little frosty, and has always been the no-nonsense duty first royal. She's not about chasing headlines or playing the charm game. She just quietly gets the job done, and she's got a ton of respect for tradition. From what I've heard, and never really warmed up to Camilla, even after all these years. While other royals made an effort to welcome her into the family, and kept her distance, sticking to protocol and nothing more. No joint appearances, no cozy moments, just polite acknowledgement. And apparently, it's not about jealousy or personal dislike. It's about principle, and believes that status should be earned through years of service, not just gained through marriage and a carefully crafted public image. She thinks Camilla's rise to queen consort felt undeserved. Elle even heard a story about, and remarking to a confidant after an event at Balmoral, some people wear the crown for duty, others wear it for appearance. She didn't name names, but the message was pretty clear, right? And when Charles became king, Anne's concerns only intensified. Camilla's influence seemed to grow, and she became more involved in protocol discussions and public engagements, and saw this as overreach, an attempt to rewrite her role in the monarchy instead of accepting its limit. Apparently, there were even some tense moments during state events where Anne intervened when Camilla tried to take the lead. Heard that at one diplomatic reception, and actually interrupted Camilla mid-con conversation with a foreign envoy and took over the exchange herself. It wasn't about being catty. It was about and feeling like she needed to correct the situation. So yeah, there's definitely some serious tension between these two. And it's all coming to a head now with William's coronation on the horizon. Okay, so it wasn't just who had issues with Camilla's growing influence. Apparently, Prince William himself was feeling some kind of way, and this supposedly led to a major showdown between the two of them. Now, publicly, William's always been super polite and respectful too, but behind closed doors, sources say he was getting increasingly uncomfortable with her stepping into roles that he felt belonged to the future king. It started as personal unease, but it turned into a bigger thing about the structure of the monarch. So, William asked for a private meeting with Camilla at Clarence's house. He didn't go in as a stepson or even his family. He went in as the Prince of Wales, future king, ready to lay down the law. He wanted to talk about boundaries respectfully and ask for some space, but apparently Camilla wasn't having it. William explained that with the coronation planning underway, he needed room to define his reign to Olead and to shape its meaning without feeling overshadowed. He asked her to step back from key planning meetings, especially the ones about symbolic and ceremonial stuff. And how did Camilla respond? She reportedly smiled, but it was a loaded smile. She said, "It's all a symbolic tradition, darling. Nothing more." Can you imagine? Like she was totally dismissing the weight of what he was saying. That's when William reportedly snapped. He broke from his usual calm demeanor and said something that insiders say is still echoing through the palace halls. "This is not your crown to shake." Boom! Apparently, there was just silence after that. A really heavy pause. Then William just stood up and left. Didn't wait for a response. He'd made his decision. The very next day, he met with Princess, and the timing was deliberate. The conversation with Camilla had made it clear that this wasn't just about personal discomfort. It was about authority and the long-term legacy of the monarch. And of course, agreed without hesitation. Together, they decided that Camilla would be excluded from all further coronation planning. But get this, they didn't tell her right away. They made the move calculated, quiet, surgical. Meeting agendas were changed, guest lists adjusted, and correspondence rerouted. The palace being the palace adapted quickly and efficiently. It wasn't a rebellion. It was realignment. William had drawn the line and had reinforced. Okay, so Camilla wasn't exactly thrilled about being pushed aside. Can you blame her? Sources say she went ballistic when she found out, apparently shouting, "I am queen," inside Clarence house. I could just picture it, right? But underneath the anger, it wasn't just wounded pride. It was fear. Fear of losing her influence, fear of being erased. And the way she found out was just brutal. Not through some official announcement, but accidentally through a tiny update on a staff calendar. Can you imagine the humiliation? So, naturally, she stormed into a private sitting room where Charles was like reviewing state papers. Bet that was awkward. Apparently, raised voices were echoing through Clarence house for several minutes. No one's officially saying what was said, of course, but allegedly, she cried, "They cannot treat me like a guest." And Charles, he didn't really defend her. He was caught between his role as a husband and his duty as king. His silence spoke volume. In that moment, Camilla realized that his loyalty ultimately lay with his son. Ouch. For years, she'd worked her butt off to reshape her image and climb her way into the heart of the monarch. But now the same institution that had once protected her had shifted its stance, and she was suddenly on the outside. But Camilla's not one to just give up. She mobilized her team and went into full-on strategy mode. They started floating ideas for exclusive interviews, discreet leaks, carefully timed appearances, all meant to remind the public that she was still around and still important. It wasn't about exposing the rift. It was about regaining control within it. But even as she fought to reclaim her influence, the truth was unavoidable. William's coronation plans were moving forward without her. Alliances were solidifying. Decisions were being made. And the narrative which had once included her was being rewritten. And it wasn't just emotional. It was strategic. In royal power struggles, visibility is everything. And for the first time since becoming queen, Camilla was watching herself fade from view. But then to make matters even worse, while Camilla was struggling to stay relevant, someone else quietly stepped into her place. Catherine, Princess of Wales, and she did it without any drama or resistance. Catherine didn't ask for space. She just took it. She carries this calm authority that speaks for itself. Apparently, her role in William's early coronation meetings wasn't just for show. It was essential from the get-go. Catherine helped shape the mood and meaning of the ceremony. She didn't want to just repeat tradition for the sake of tradition. She wanted the coronation to feel alive, to connect with a new generation. It was Catherine who suggested that young people should have a visible role in the procession. And it was Catherine who proposed honoring Queen Elizabeth in a way that respected history while still looking forward. And apparently everyone in the room just loved her. She's thoughtful, intentional, and perfectly aligned with William. One insider put it this way: William brings strength. Catherine brings balance together. They're shaping the coronation in ways that few inside the palace expect. And the thing is, Catherine never tried to replace anyone. She didn't compete with Camilla. She just embodies what the monarchy is moving toward, and in some ways what it once was. So, while Camilla was fighting to stay seen, Catherine was becoming a symbol of trust.